Hello, everybody, and this is gonna be a creepy ass reading here with Trevor. And, let's see. This is, we're gonna be reading The Rake today. Uh, it, The Rake is actually one of my favorite creepypastas, period. And to be honest, the way it looks, I have pictures of it, it's basically going through right now. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kind of a little bit tired. Been going up all night and all day. So, to be honest, this is one of the creepiest freaking creepypastas I have ever ran across. And to be honest, if you've seen a monster looking like this near your bed or your campfire or whatever the hell, then I don't think you would really want to live anymore. anymore. Um, uh, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Anyway, I was gonna read the original story. Um, I hope you guys enjoy this. Enjoy this creepy ass reading. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Uh, oh, by the way, share this with your friends. That'd be good. That would give me views. So, share it with your friends. Anyway, I'm gonna go on ahead and start. During the summer of 2003, events in northeastern United States involving strange human-like creatures sparked brief local media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted. Little or no information was left, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused in rural New York and once found in Idaho. Self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published versions were no longer on record, their memories remained powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, a collaboration had accumulated nearly 2 dozen documents dating between the 12th century and present day, spanning 4 continents. In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book. There's multiple different ones here. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm just going to read the one from The Witness 2006. The most important and creepy one. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family on the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right to bed and called it a night. About 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used a moment to steal back the sheets. Only to wake him up in the process. I apologized and told him that I thought he got out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet up from the end of the bed so quickly his knees almost knocked me out of the bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused the strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man, or a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, and it's as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. Excuse me, guys. My husband was peering over his arm and knee, tucked into the fetal position, occasionally glancing at me before returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around to the side of the bed, then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot away from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds. Or probably closer to 5. It just seemed like a while. He was just looking at my husband. The creature then placed its hand on his knee and ran into the hallway, leading to the kids' rooms. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children. When I got into the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching and hunched over about 20 feet away. He turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch on in the hall and saw my daughter Clara. The creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed up to help our daughter. She was badly injured and only spoke once more in her short life. She said, "He's the Rake." My husband drove his car into the lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. They didn't survive. Being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of witnesses as well. However, the story was never published, and the local television news never followed it up either. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the next town or over who had a similar story. We got in contact to begin talking about our experiences. You knew of 2 other people in New York State who had seen the creature. We now referred to him as the Rake. It took the 4 of us about 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believed to be accounts of the Rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow-up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in its first 3 pages, and never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying that they were told to leave by the Rake. That was the last entry in the log. There were, however, many instances where the creature's visit was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people also mentioned being spoken to, my daughter included. This led us to wonder if the Rake had visited any of us before our last encounter. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night, every night, for 2 weeks. I would tediously scan through the sounds of me rolling around in my bed each day. When I woke up, by the end of the second week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while blurring through the recording at 8 times the normal speed. On the first day of the third week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the Rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it. I haven't let anyone listen to it yet. All I know is that I've heard it before, and now I believe that it spoke. And when it was sitting in front of my husband, I didn't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason the voice on the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thoughts that must have gone through my daughter's head make me very upset. I have not seen the Rake since he ruined my life, but I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know in fear that one night I'll wake up to see him staring at me.